What is up, VC? Welcome back to my man cave. Welcome back to the show that never ends. My name is Rod. This is a contest entry for Proghat, our friend Edward. But first, I'm going to throw a couple shout outs. MGK has a great channel. I missed an entry for his contest simply because I could not get anyone to participate. But man, throw a big shout out to MGK. Few other people out there, man, who are just killing it in the VC. I'm really enjoying all these newcomers in the last year and stuff. But this is for Edward at Proghat. And I was texting Randy Weaver today, and he said he's going to make a video for it. I thought, you know what? I need to jump on this video. So here we go. Easy contest, and it's a lot of fun. Makes you dig through your record collection. He was born in the 1960s, Proghat, Edward. Doesn't look it, man. He really doesn't look like he was born in 1968. But anyway, nevertheless, show 3 albums from the 60s, 3 songs from the 60s. Then as a bonus question, show 3 albums from 1968, the year that he was born. So he's got a birthday this year. Happy birthday, Edward. PBR, brother. First 3 I'm going to show are from the 60s. I told myself I wasn't going to show any Grateful Dead or any Rolling Stones or any Jimi Hendrix because I always show that. So I'm reaching through my library and I found one of my favorite soundtracks. It's a Chet Baker. It's a Chet Baker. A Taste of Tequila. Marciano Brass featuring Chet Baker. Never seen the movie. This is a really cool soundtrack. In fact, I've got 2 copies of this, and I'm going to send one to a friend of mine who loves soundtracks, and I hope she or he dig this. Excuse the ring light. The ring light's new to me. Someone suggested it, and I'm playing around with it. Anyway, Chet Baker, A Taste of Tequila. The late Chet Baker. Also from the 60s, here's a band you don't see a lot of. I've seen, was it JT or was it JR? I think it was our boy out there in Reno, Nevada. He showed this album. It's a great one. Cold Blood. Band's name is Cold Blood. Very cool album. Kind of on the psych side. It's just a neat listen. Look how big that band was, man. Very pretty lead singer. They've got 4 or 5 albums out. This is the only one I have. They are a San Francisco band. San Francisco. I bet Mazzy knows this band real well. He probably even knows a couple of the members. But anyway, that's the label. Band's called Cold Blood, and they're good. I dig them. Let's see what else we have from the 1960s. We got a guy who's one of my favorite, probably my favorite guitar player. I'm not saying he's the best, but he's my favorite. He's from Texas, and this is him from 1969, self-titled Johnny Winter, and this is not his debut album. It is a self-titled album. But his first album was called The Progressive Blues Experience. This is just a self-titled album. It's actually his second album that he released. If you're not real familiar with Johnny Winter, he is a Texas blues guitarist, played Woodstock. He drifted into kind of glam rock very briefly. He went back to the blues in the 80s. Fantastic performer. His albums are kind of hard to follow, though, because he had 2 self-titled albums that he just didn't bother to name. He has an album called Second Winter, which is not his second album. He had an album called 3 that was not his third album. So anyway, this is not about Johnny Winter, though it could be. I'm showing albums from the 1960s. Those are 3 from the 60s. Hold up the right amount of fingers. 3 great songs from the 1960s. All Along the Watchtower, and I'm going to go with Jimi Hendrix version. Yeah, I love Bob Dylan. He wrote it. But I think Jimmy just took it to another level with All Along the Watchtower. I can remember playing All Along the Watchtower when I was in radio, and I played Bob Dylan's version. And a caller thought Bob Dylan was ripping off Hendrix. It's like, no. Another great song, A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Just a wonderful song. A good song to turn up when you're in the car, and it kind of gives you goosebumps. Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. Wonderful song. And I said I wasn't going to talk about the Rolling Stones. Actually, I said I wasn't going to show any of their albums, but I'm going to talk about Honky Tonk Woman. That's just a kick-ass song. Honky Tonk Woman is my third pick for songs from the 1960s, man. I don't remember the 1960s, bro, because I was born in 66. He wants 3 albums as a bonus question from 1968, because he was born in 1968. How about Harvey Mandel's solo album? This is not an original pressing. It still has the shrink wrap on it. This is an early 70s pressing, I believe. Actually, it may be an original pressing. Hell if I know. Harvey Mandel, this is a great kind of psych album. I mean, it's awesome. And I forget who gave this to me. And if you're watching this video, I apologize tremendously. My memory ain't what it used to be. It's just not. And I said I wasn't going to show Hendrix, but I am. I'm allowed to, because it's 1968, and he put out a badass album in 1968. This is a legendary album. No one even needs to even attempt to explain this album, because everyone's familiar with this. Masterpiece by Jimi Hendrix Experience. I will tell you something, kind of a little trivia. He told the people at the record studio or the art department or whatever, he wanted an Indian themed album cover to celebrate his Native American heritage. And they thought he meant the country India. And this is what they came up with. And he dug it so much, he said, man, we're going to roll with this. This is badass. It's a badass album. It's Jimi flippin' Hendrix. I think that's 3 from 6. Oh, the 13th Floor Elevators from 1966 live. It's a good album. It's not a great album. It's a live album. And technology wasn't real big back then, I guess you'd say. So it wasn't recorded very well, but it's a good album, and I love it. It's the 13th Floor Elevators. Let me get my light on. Shall I leave it on or off? On, off. On, off. Anyway, guys, this is for Edward at Proghat. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm filming this in the man cave. It's rainy as heck. Man, I hope everyone's having a great whatever they're doing. Peace, guys.